Welcome to another The Builders Extra, where I extract a recent topic, item, something we can expand on from a previous episode of the Builders Podcast. And usually that episode is the last episode. In this case, that was episode 74 with Laura Raynak. And Laura and I had a great conversation about her journey through corporate world, many years, decades in corporate, until she found her passion, found her thing, and started her own business. And that's what she's doing today. But that journey, those type of journeys always fascinate me. That's what I love to dig into, especially on the first episode with a guest. But in this one in particular, like her halfway through, somewhere in there, I asked her why recruiting, because she's a executive talent scout. She recruits top talent for a bunch of companies, some big companies she's done this for. And so like the top management or, execs, CEOs or vice presidents, stuff like that. So, but why? Like, that's what I want to know. I want to get into the basics there. Why? I want to get under that layer and figure out why is it that you landed where you landed. And for her, it was really interesting in that it's something that just suited her. It took her a long time to get to a point where she knew what she needed to know. And she went on that journey. That journey took her, had her go through a number of different jobs, working for different companies, different corporations and stuff. Other recruiting agencies or whatever you call them. And so she was picking up those skills along the way. And so that is actually really cool too. That's a really good kind of a deep insight, right? If you want to do something, especially in business, get the skills you need, right? And working for others, and I'm the same way. I've done businesses where I didn't have that background, that experience, and I just kind of tried to do it self-taught, and it sometimes worked out, sometimes did not. But like my web design business, my web development and web design agency, I mean, I'm doing good because I had that background to even work for a company for 4 years, right? And as their web developer. So I have that background, but also seeing how they did business, and I learned a lot there as well. But you pick up stuff along the way from others. You find mentors, you find people that are willing to teach you. One of the things that I picked up with her, she's very inquisitive. She asks a lot of questions. And she worked with an older generation in one of her, she talks about they were a generation older than her, and she learned so much from them. And so those are the type of things, it's that learning. And she talks about resilience too in there, where it's like you just keep trying, and she had this. She was ambitious, and she wanted to do something specific, and she just kept doing, working hard until she got there. Now, the other thing is there's a point where she talks about how it fell into place for her, and like everything, her whole life, and who she was. It suddenly made sense. Like, this is what she wanted to do. Part of that was looking at other people she knew. She had a friend, I guess, that was a recruiter, and she looked at that friend and said, I really love what that person's doing. I love their lifestyle. They're well respected. There was other aspects of that, deep aspects of that she thought she could see herself doing. Like, she wanted that. So that's great too. Like, finding that person that, you can emulate yourself after. You can, you can sort of not copy, but you can pattern yourself after, I guess. So that's really good, because that can be something that, put some guide rails on you and kind of moves you in a good direction. But also it was like she realized, and there was this other aspect of it where she started focusing on execs, and not just lower management, stuff like that, because it was part of that was her personality. And she even went back to, saying like how she was brought up, like maybe her manners or the way she was just brought up. Maybe, I don't know if it was high society or what it was, but she's able to communicate and she's comfortable around those type of people. So, which is again another great takeaway if you think about it deeply, is so she's found something she really enjoys. She's good at, right? That's in there too. She's good at it. So that's on a number of times throughout the podcast, she said, I was really good at that. And that's, she was proud of herself because she was outperforming others, especially the men. But she was outperforming others, and she was just really, she was just attracted to that, and she found opportunities to get better and better at that. And she found that person that was doing the same thing. And then she's like, so all of this stuff is kind of coming together, and then like, oh, this is my personality. Oh, this is the type of person I want to go after. And so it all just fit together. She could be her organic self, do something she loves. And in that case, and she's really good at it. So she's going to succeed. Her chances of success increased over time as she kind of dialed that in. So I think that's super insightful and inspiring, because anyone, if you're listening to this and you're kind of trying to find your way, find your thing, and we're all there. Like, it took me years to find my thing. There are a few times I thought I found my thing. and then it wasn't. But you got to keep trying, kind of keep working at it. Try to understand yourself, kind of self-analyze, like, what do I enjoy doing? For me, that turned out to, tech, a little bit of creativity, business. I love that whole thing. And just building websites, building stuff, thus the builders. That became my thing, but it didn't happen overnight. It took me, it was a long road of ups and downs. And same for her, it was a long road. She had a lot of challenges she had to get over, but she kept fighting. She stuck up for herself. She found kind of her tribe and what she wanted to do. And so that's inspiring, but it doesn't, again, it has to be something that, you're willing to try things. You're willing to, because that's how you learn. You try a lot of things, right? You keep trying things. You're not going to figure out what you want to do or what you enjoy doing with just sitting in your, on your couch at home and watching TV. You're not got to get out there, got to try things. And you may not like everything. Not everything's going to work out, but eventually you start to piece it together. And then you surround yourself with people that can help you. Find mentors, find people that can kind of guide you into the right realm for you. And then you find something that, suits your personality. Who are you comfortable talking to and working with? What, that makes a difference. I'm not going to, there's certain markets I'll probably personally never tap, unless they like this goofy, laid back web developer, web designer dude that's running an agency and has a podcast. I have a very specific personality that's going to turn some people off. Some people won't even take me as seriously as they should, but it's who I am. It's organic, right? I'm not being anybody else right now. And it's the same for her. She found her thing. You can find your thing. You just got to go out there and work hard and keep trying and dial it in for yourself. You'll figure it out. You got to know yourself. You got to figure out who you are. But the more you find something that's suited to who you are, your success rate will skyrocket. Until next time, I hope you found this interesting, inspiring. I love these type of stories. I love figuring out what makes people tick and how they became the success they are. And some of those keys are really in finding the right thing for that person. There's a lot of things I shouldn't be doing, a lot of things you shouldn't be doing. There's a lot of things Laura would fail at, but she found her thing. Go out there and find your thing.